Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, totally cool. So what do we have today? I almost feel like I don't even have updates because I'm so deep into like going through all these different influencer accounts. So let me just kind of walk you through what that looks like. So in doing so I'm going through, TikTok, YouTube, all these different various really, popular social media networks, right? And those that end up on your feed are those that are super popular, right? Like they have 1 million followers, they have 2 million followers, they have a whole bunch of different things, and that's how they end up on the feed. Then, but they don't go ahead and broadcast their Gmail addresses, right? So you then have to kind of be a detective and have a bunch of different detective kind of tools and go through everything until you find it, which is fine. The point being, it's one of those cases where I'm spending a really, like, you could see bags under my eyes. Like I'm because it's fun, it's it's explorative, it's detective-ish. And these are like the most popular people in the world. So it's almost like kind of stalker fun. And I'm not really a stalker, but if I was, I'm finding I'm kind of good at it. Um, and it's rewarding. But it's just labor intensive. So it's not like you have to sit there and really think much. You just have to kind of go with the motions because every account is kind of the same. They have this, link here, link here. They're dating this person. Let's go to their, it's just stuff like that. But the point of the story is we're up to 140 now. These are 140 names, personal email addresses, and all of the statistics that go along with it, right? Like if they have this many followers on TikTok, this many followers on whatever. And this is one of those things that can either go really good or it can be a complete waste of time, right? This could be a complete waste of time in the sense that we get all of this and then we write some poor message or something to the effect of and get no follow through, no feedback, no reception at all. Or it can be something that's actually quite big. It can be something where each one of these individuals is spending their life running their business, which is running a media empire, for lack of a better term. They're all essentially competing with each other, but at the same time, they love to collaborate with each other because you can only have so many fitness models or so many exercise gurus or so many makeup gurus, whatever the case may be. So they all want to be number one, but all of their followings are kind of overlap, right? Like if this person's doing makeup and this person's doing makeup, hey Terry, Frida and Deborah, then it stands fair to reason that they could probably the people that are following one of them would probably follow the other one, right? Now, the thing that catches my attention is the careers that they're in have a short lifespan. And again, I don't, maybe I'm talking out of turn because how can I know that, right? Like I don't know the future. But there are certain jobs that do have a particular short lifespan, like an athlete, right? If you're in sports, there's a certain point where your age offers diminishing returns because father time is undefeated. Tom Brady just retired. He was 45. There's not been anyone over 41 that ever even was good, right? Aaron Rodgers is 39 and he can't win a playoff game. But even still, 45 for Tom Brady, for the best quarterback ever in the history of the world, his career is over at 45. And that's the longest it's ever been, and by a lot. Bartenders, right? Sure, you can do the labor of it, but if you're the really pretty young 20, mid 20 girl, you likely have a bit more of a following than you would if you're still bartending at 70. And same thing for guys, and same things all around. Um, um, Models, right? Strippers, like things that require, say, a certain level of beauty or a certain level of age and things like that. I kind of put the same thing in as makeup. Like if you're a makeup artist, I guess you could be really great for a very long time, but that's almost like being a movie director. You have to have hits forever. Like you have to really adapt to everything that's changing. which again is fine. I'm not saying someone can't do that. I'm saying inherently the media empires that these individuals have a short lifespan. And like anything else, it's like when you're investing in the stock market, right? Or if you're playing poker and your chips are in, you feel like you have the illusion, well, the delusion that you're in control. You're not. It's almost like you think you're the boss until the car breaks down and you realize the engine was the boss. Like you're never the boss. And I've learned that at a very early age of my life. I am never the boss no matter what in any situation. Like I'm in this room right now. You know what would happen if the internet went out? I would lose my mind. I would be in zero control of anything because what can I do, right? I'm not the boss. The internet's the boss. Point of the story being that when you're gambling in stock market or gambling on cards or whatnot, and your chips are in the middle, you feel like you have choice. You feel like you're in control. So if somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, listen, I know you're locked into the stock, and it's after hours, so you can't trade it, right? Like you can't do anything. I think tomorrow it's going to be a bad day, and I'll give you 75% of your money right now for your stock." More times than not, the individual, because they have a certain level of self pride, a certain delusion of how important they really are, will say no, no, no chance, no. Even if tomorrow's a bad day, I'm going to be fine because I'm me. Like, duh. You know what happens the next day when that person loses all their money? They wish, they wish to as many gods as you believe that exist, that they can go back in time and take that 75%. Now, the challenge is in the moment, the answer that they offer is very different than the answer that they would after they figure out that they made the wrong decision. The challenge being, how can you go ahead and let somebody know they're making the wrong decision while they firmly believe they're making the right decision? And I think that's sales and narratives and stuff like that. But if the fact is true, and if our observation, or at least our assessment is true, that the individuals that are really, really popular today based on diminishing attributes that were God given for the most part, to beauty, athleticism, stuff like that, and talent is God given as well. Some are, some can last a lifetime, like talents, and some may not, right? But if you were able to get all of those people in a room and say, "Hey, listen, right now, everyone in this room together has the ability that if we all agree, we could all walk away billionaires right now." And then the question becomes, well, how do you do that? And what's people's defining, what's their defining moments? What are they going to be remembered for? Because if you said to everyone, "Hey, listen, we could walk away and be billionaires right now, but we're going to kind of F the rest of the world over and everyone else is going to die of starvation." Well, nobody wants to do that. Like $1 billion is not worth doing that. But if you can say, "Hey, listen, not only are you all going to become billionaires, but you're actually going to go ahead and transfer the wealth back to all the regular people. You're going to be able to protect community by siloing them in with their own search engine, their own ability to do blah, blah, blah," right? Everything that we've ever spoken about. Do those people say yes? Now that's the art of the deal, right? Like there's a lot of things to get to from where we are to there. You have to be able to present it. You have to be able to speak to it. You have to be able to retarget it. You need to be able to get people's attention. You need to get people into a room. You need to be able to present it. You need to be able to go ahead and grow a coalition. And you need to be able to execute it, right? And then you have to do the steps on, well, how are you going to do it? Because this is kind of like a first to market. It's a blitz to market. If everyone said yes, and then Johnny says, "Okay, I'll squeeze it in 3 months from now," and Susie's like, "Well, I could do it tomorrow," and then Tommy's like, "I could do it in 9 months," it doesn't work. Everyone needs to do it all at once because everyone controls such a following. So if you walk down that line of thinking, a couple of things are true. One, because we believe that we can accomplish this, which could be completely pie in the sky, but I operate under the principle that I can achieve what I want to. If I fail, I fail, but I don't go into something believing I'm going to fail. So let's operate under the principle that we can go ahead and achieve this. If that's the case, well, case closed, you win. If we are wrong and we are unable to accomplish this, there's levels to it. Are we unable to accomplish it because everyone didn't like us? Are we unable to accomplish it because 50% of the people didn't agree with us? Are we unable to accomplish it because only 10% of the people agreed with us? Why? How are we unable to accomplish it? Because I firmly believe that if I'm going into this believing that I can accomplish this, I do not see it being reasonable that we would fail at such a level that 100% of people would say, that's a bad idea, kick rocks. Meaning, even if one, two, five, or 10 people are like, hey, I want to work with you. Well, what do those 5, 10 people bring to the table? Again, rewind. They bring all of their following. They bring every one of that. So when you're talking to Rhino and our following is entrenched in what we're doing, but we've never been a marketing platform, to go ahead and bring on, say, 5 or 10 different individuals that only know how to do marketing, excuse me, that collectively might have 1 million to 10 million that are, accountable to them, that listen to them, is that a home run for us? Does that multiply our efforts to a very, very large exponent? Well, yeah, because everything that we have built is built to scale. It's built to exponentiate. It's built to go ahead and catch fire. Because as things start depleting, things start moving quite quickly. So when I put that all in perspective, you see the bags under my eyes and you see, there's not much update because what I'm doing is, all right, well, if I believe the calculation I just shared with you, well, then the success is going to be dependent on the quantity. So if I said to you 10% of everything that you do today is going to be successful, well, would you only do 10 things? Or would you say, okay, well, let me do as many as possible? Because the more I do, if the percentages stay the same, then the more success I have. So although we have 140 of these now, do I want to stop at 140? No, I want like 100,000. That's not going to be possible because I'll croak, right? Like it's just impossible because everything the beauty of what we're doing is it's so manual, it's so labor intensive. Like I'm sitting here I feel like a creep. I'm going through people's profiles but we'll get there. So the point being, I'm going to continue doing this to give you a couple updates on the team. The whisper function on search is causing a bit of tech stuff. So we actually have a couple of tech guys collaborating to do that. The editing of the videos is probably not going to be done by the end of this week, but we are working on the questions and answers, pulling it from each of the quizzes. We're going to take that and make it into note cards, as well as be able to provide everyone going forward the material. Salesforce got back to us. So Einstein GPT of Salesforce is a closed beta. Like no one has access to it. So we said we want access to it, right? So they gave us the form and we're waiting to hear back from them. Same thing with OpenAI. We're waiting to hear back if we get access to ChatGPT 4.0. We have to do the collaboration with Salesforce to go ahead and be able to market their products and collect the residual going forward. And which, by the way, when I say collect the residual going forward, if you put all this together and realize how many people are going to be coming to the platform that we're going to be assigning hours to that are going to make careers of being with Rhino, there's going to be a lot of people that need to go ahead and purchase Salesforce. And when we go ahead and collect 10 to 20% of their residuals for life, we're probably a year or two away from walking into a situation where every quarter there's like $100,000, $200,000 worth of purchasing for Rhino Bucks. Because again, nothing goes to Anthony. It goes to Rhino Bucks because Anthony owns Rhino Bucks, right? Everyone owns Rhino Bucks. I've never allowed myself to have a salary. I've always made sure that the way I collect is the way everyone collects. Therefore, if I'm happy, everyone's happy. Because it does not make any sense to me for one person to be happy and everyone else like, hey, can you like drop some crumbs over here? So that's all going in the right direction. We did purchase some more Rhino Bucks yesterday. I believe it's at 209. The market cap is 85,000, another all-time high. We'll be purchasing more today and tomorrow. All of the dollar coin will be going out tomorrow. So there might be some volatility in the price. I suspect there'll be some opportunistic people. I'd rather there not be, right? But we'll have to monitor that. And that's kind of it. So, for someone that didn't have much updates, I'm 14 minutes in. I'm going to try to leave it there because I do want to get back to work. But what else do I have for you? I don't think there's much else, but just know it's all going. And it's cool. So it's funny. So you can have a bunch of influencers and they're too cool for school, right? It's almost like there's a saying. I remember watching Chris Rock when I was younger, but I still watch Chris Rock. I love him, and he goes, there's a difference between rich and wealth, right? He goes, Shaquille O'Neal, the famous basketball player for the Lakers, he's rich. The man that signs Shaquille O'Neal's checks, he's wealthy. And the point being, you could be as big as you'd like, but if there's someone above you that's giving you the money, they're the wealthy one and you're the rich one. And the point I make is with all the different influencers and what we're looking to do, yeah, they're all rich, right? Like they're all top of their game. But if we're the one that's bringing everyone to the table, um, we overnight become much larger than we are. But like I've always said, the goal of where we're going to be, although maybe not always able to be expressed in words, the trust is that we will identify how to do it when the time comes. So we just continue moving forward. And a lot of what we're sharing now is very big stuff. So that's all. I love you. Let me go. I'll see y'all later. Bye.